After everything that happened, did Drake deliver the response people were waiting for? Let's talk about it. What's going on, y'all? It's your man Lighthouse, and you're now tuned into another episode of Everything for Everybody, and today we'll be discussing Drake's Iceman album. Yes, we're finally gonna break it down. Alright? Now, Drake has spent the better part of 2 decades existing at the center of popular music, but Iceman arrives during a moment where the spotlight feels colder than usual. The album carries the weight of public scrutiny, industry fatigue, internet discourse, and the emotional aftermath of one of rap's most highly consumed battles. What makes the project compelling is not simply that Drake addresses the noise, but that he understands people were waiting to hear how he would sound after surviving everything. I approach listening to this album with an open mind and an open heart, contrary to how some of my friends may have. They listened to it and their intentions was just to hate on it. They couldn't wait to just get on X and get on Threads and just spew a whole bunch of vitriol and talk shit on all 3 of Drake's albums. But one of my homies, Flight School Pre, made an interesting point about how people consume music these days. And he's right. He says something along the lines that people listen to artists that they don't actually like so that they can hate on it and make content about it. But that's a whole different story. We could get into that another time, but he's right about that. Like, people listen to this album and they just automatically hate it because, they might be Kendrick fans. And it's like, if this is hip hop and this is music, who gives a fuck about, Like, I get it. If you don't like Drake, you don't like Drake, whatever. But why listen to it if you don't fuck with him? You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. But anyway, from the opening stretch of the album, Drake approaches the material like someone documenting bruises while still trying to maintain composure. Records like Make Them Cry, Make Them Pay, Make Them Remember, and Make Them Know function almost like chapters in a public rebuttal. There's a frustration throughout the writing, but there's also self-awareness. He knows the world has been watching him absorb criticism in real time, and the album becomes his attempt to regain narrative control without abandoning the melodic instincts that built his audience in the first place. What stands out most about Iceman, Habiti, and Maid of Honor is how deliberately Drake serves every corner of his audience simultaneously. The albums move between focused lyrical records, club-ready production, emotional confessionals, and caption-heavy anthems designed to live online. Drake understands the ecosystem around his music better than almost any artist of his generation. He knows some listeners want bars to dissect with friends, others want records that soundtrack nights out, and others simply want melodies that attach themselves to memory. Drake gives his fans something recognizable with all of these offerings, I feel. For me, on Iceman, the production plays a major role in carrying the balance. The song Firm Friends lands with a sharp confidence that immediately cuts through, while the song Burning Bridges has the kind of infectious hook that feels engineered for collective shouting when out with the homies. I can see my summer now pre-gaming with the single homies before we head out and chanting, "Yo baby mama ain't even post a picture. Where's she at?" That shit's mad funny. Also, sidebar, the Drake stands are wilding out on A$AP Rocky's page. I went to one of his comments and it's like people using the emojis to like do the where she at shit. They got gifs of Drake with Rihanna. Like, when people start doing shit like that, it kind of gets corny. I mean, I would rather it be like just music, but people can enjoy and they can participate and engage with the music however they see fit. You know what I'm saying? But I would hate to be on the receiving end of some shit like that. But it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, even moments built around familiar sampling choices still feel intentionally curated rather than lazy. The Denise Williams flip on the song Make Them Pay adds warmth beneath the tension of Drake's writing, allowing reflection and resentment to occupy the same space. At its core, Iceman feels like an artist processing rejection from a culture that once celebrated him unconditionally. Long runs at the top inevitably reshape public perception, and Drake sounds aware of that reality throughout the project. The album never fully sinks into self-pity. Instead, it feels like the sound of a man attempting to reclaim dignity after enduring the emotional whiplash of public perception turning against him almost overnight. There's been a constant discussion surrounding why Drake is still addressing the battle, but the real question becomes, when the hell was he supposed to process and address the shit publicly? Like, he has to say something about it. You see what happened. It was like the whole machine was against him, you know? Kendrick did his thing with dropping those 4 songs back to back and then capping it off with They Not Like Us. But then he went on to get a Grammy for this shit. He dropped the album. He did the Super Bowl. A whole bunch of shit, and like Drake has to respond to this shit. I mean, it's natural. You gotta fight back. You know what I mean? Now I get it. You know, people don't fuck with the whole lawsuit thing. You know, he's saying that he's trying to fight against Lucien Grange and not really Kendrick. Whatever. Who cares? Whatever. I judge everything based upon what they put on wax. You know what I'm saying? I think Kendrick won the battle. You know, but you know, after all of that, you gotta say something. And this is his chance to say something and answer his fans. And he's been gone. This is like the longest he's been away from music, I think. Like 2 years is a long time, you know? So he had to say something. And also, since when did vulnerability stop being worthwhile subject matter in music? Some of Iceman's most compelling moments emerge from that honesty. Beneath the bravado and sharp rebuttals is an artist openly documenting the psychological residue of being criticized, dissected, and culturally abandoned in real time. I feel like Kendrick definitely blemished Drake's image, and he definitely changed shit with those songs. Not every record lands with the same impact. The song Bees on the Table struggles to leave a lasting impression with me, and the song National Treasure feels less immediate than the surrounding material. Still, those moments do little to derail the larger experience because the album's purpose remains clear. Drake came here to speak directly after a prolonged silence, and whether listeners agree with him or not, Iceman succeeds in sounding emotionally present, so what more can you ask for? More importantly, the project reminds listeners why Drake continues to command attention in the first place. Beyond the debates, narratives, and internal wars, he still possesses a strong understanding of mood, pacing, melody, and emotional accessibility. Iceman may not resolve every conversation surrounding him, but it documents an artist attempting to move forward publicly while carrying the full weight of recent history on his back. Let me know what you guys think about this album. I personally like Iceman. I still have to give Maid of Honor and Habibi or Habibti, however you pronounce it. I still have to give those a more intentional listen. But Iceman, I've just been rocking with this. I've been living with it, and I like it. I actually like the production on it. I like what Drake is saying. Drake is rapping like Drake. Drake has a specific format that he sticks to, and he is demonstrating that. He hasn't like wavered from who he is. He's giving us the music that we liked about it. If you liked Drake before, this is just a Drake album that you're gonna like now. And if you never liked Drake, you're gonna be pissed at this album. You're gonna be like, who gives a fuck? He's still crying about it. Oh, he should get over it. You're gonna be one of those people. But if you appreciated his music before, it's not so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not bad at all. You know what I mean? Honestly, you know, I fuck with this album. And, you know, I think it's one of my favorite Drake albums. I mean, I like Take Care, Nothing Was the Same, and what's the other one? What's the other joint that he had with the playlist shit with his pops on the cover? Let's see. I'm bugging. See, I'm supposed to just know this shit off rip. Views was dope too. More Life, yes, More Life. This is up there with More Life for me. All right, so I mean that. It's my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Everything ain't for everybody, but I fuck with this album. So let me know what you think. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can stay in the loop. If you're listening on your streaming platform, you can actually stay right there where you're at. You know, if it's Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, wherever you stream podcasts. I'm streaming it right here with Spotify. This is how it looks, you know. Do that. You can stay in the app and just go and listen to the album. But I'm sure you've probably heard the album already. You know what I mean? Like, it's been out, and Drake is kind of one of those people that, you know, is at the forefront of the culture in terms of, like, you know, everyone's talking about this album, you know? So let me know what you think, guys. Thank you for watching another episode. Until next time, peace. We out.